Oh,
There's
okay.
just a little bit. No. There's just a couple storylines where I just didn't quite get the appeal and why they did it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Welcome, friends. We are doing a Stranger Things Season 4 review with our co-host, Calvin. If you saw the last episode, my wife joined in for Better Call Saul, which she will be doing for the next 6 episodes. But our normal program will have Calvin, my brother.
Hello.
Yes. Um, so this was another season of Stranger Things that was pretty on par with the other seasons. And we're going to be doing the exact same format again real quick. That we'll be doing the non-spoiler first half where we give our review, and then we'll go straight into the podcast full show after. So what were some of your initial thoughts and reactions to this, Calvin?
I liked it a lot. I really did. It was entertaining. It was slow at times. That was my biggest
Yes.
problem. Um, but I feel like they're setting it up for something pretty big in the next season.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of one thing that I obviously like the new characters, specifically Eddie and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But I feel like they just need to stop adding new characters and character stories and just keep with the heart of the group,
Yeah.
and go from there. And I feel like that's what they're going to do in the next season, which I think is going to be pretty on point.
Uh-huh.
But no, I enjoyed this season quite a bit. I did. There's some good stuff, and but there's also some low parts. So
Yeah, for sure. So like my initial thought was when I walked out of that last episode. So I'm gonna preface this. I was in the middle of the climax of Game of Thrones while watching this show. Stacy, my wife, I was trying to get her to not watch it and let's just like roll through Game of Thrones and finish it. And she's like, I don't want any spoilers. So I was like, fine. So we watched those last 2 episodes in the heart of Game of Thrones. And when you just put those side by side, I wasn't as intrigued. I just wasn't in it as much as I should have been. So I will say that first off, but I still was paying full attention. And after it, I was not disappointed in the season. It wasn't special like season 1 and season 3 were. I feel like those seasons they really had some really cool visual scenes and like ideas that were like different that you hadn't seen in other movies or shows. And this one just didn't really do that for me. It was really solid though at times though, which I'll say.
oh yeah.
So let's give the quick description of the subject for the audience, and then we'll go into our review debate. So this is the description I wrote for this season. Season 4 continues the successful formula of detective action with the wonderful hues of the 80s bringing character to it. It hits slightly darker tones with the new backstories and life in a Russian prison shown. The backstory shown is the highlight of the season, with the comedy and dialogue reaching an all-time low. All while done setting up a thrilling finale season to come. So to par that, I also feel like many movies we've seen where they split that last movie into 2 parts. I feel like this show wasn't to that extreme. Like when you look at Hunger Games, the first part of the 2 parts, they always put the boring stuff in that one and put the good stuff in the second part. This wasn't to that extreme because this one was still exciting and awesome, but it did have that kind of undertone to me where it was like, we are going to set this up for an amazing finale.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially with oh my gosh, the lab stuff with Al.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that, and obviously had to come to the end. Bring it all together. But yeah, there was a lot of that.
It was interesting, but a little too slow for me at times.
Yep.
And like repetitive. They kept showing the same scenes in there repetitively.
Yep.
So, okay, let's move on to their score real quick. And then for those viewers who didn't watch the last one, our first half is a little bit more structured. Our second half is a little more couch talk podcasty. But going on. So, Rotten Tomatoes gave this season a 91, and IMDb gave it an 8.7. Now, I do believe those scores are a little high.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah. So, I'll just give you my score, and then you give me yours, and we'll see what we come to. So, for my score, I gave this an 80 out of 100. And then our entertainment score, I gave this a 70%. And then for stars, I gave this 0 stars. And then I'll quickly explain that for the audience, since this is only our second one. Score is like the Rotten Tomatoes IMDb score. It's out of 100. Our entertainment score is how entertained we were throughout it, showing the difference between how well we thought it was made compared to how entertaining it actually was. And then Midnight Star is our version of the Michelin star. So what did you think, Calvin?
Yeah. No, my score, I got it at an 85.
Okay.
I appreciate. I it's a little higher.
Than me.
Because it was very well done.
Yeah.
It was just a little too boring, and so with me, my entertainment was at a 60.
Oh.
There's just a little bit. No. There's just a couple storylines where I just didn't quite get the appeal and why they did it. You know.
Uh-huh.
But we'll get to that later. And then I gave it 0 stars.
Yep, for sure. This is not a transcendent thing that deserves a star at all.
No.
So
it was still very good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
We got no hate. It's just
No, not at all.
So your entertainment was a 60. That shocks me. That's pretty low.
Yeah, no, it shocked me too. But the whole score as itself, it was such a good, good season. It really was.
So as you're watching it, you weren't enthralled. Like you weren't immersed. There you go.
There was just, I mean, the whole first half with going to the lab and constantly going in there and the same stuff over and over again. I get it. It was the build up for a very specific character. I do.
Yeah.
And it took too long, And then on top of that, it was the whole Russian storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like they put way too much in Hopper and him being there. With me, I just wanted everyone to get back together.
Yes.
Hopper's alive.
I'm glad you said it.
So the whole time I was watching this season, I was like, okay, this is it. They're going to get back. But no, the Russia kept going.
Oh, yeah.
And those little things just kept dragging on and on for me. Specifically, those two things. So when those would pop up, I would kind of go in and out. It was still good.
Mm-hmm.
Acting was phenomenal, but... So that's the main reason why my entertainment was a little lower.
Okay. Because I feel like, for me personally, we're going to get into our highlights and lowlights in the podcast. But for me, the reason why I have mine higher than you is even though the Cali kids in the van was boring and Hopper was a little too long, and then L was too long as well in the lab. I feel like the investigation by Nancy into Vecna's backstory, and Eddie, and with the kids figured things out. That to me made it high enough to bring it up higher than that.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Elle in Cali. I thought they she acted phenomenal.
Ooh.
The way she's being bullied, like I wanted to cry. And I thought that was a great story. Those 3 things kind of brought that entertainment for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for our score, we can go right in the middle at 82. Does that sound good?
Yep.
And then entertainment, what do you feel in there?
Let's do a nice little 65.
Nice little 65. Okay.
Yep.
And of course 0 stars.
Yeah.
So to rank it, I would only put this season above season 2, personally. I felt as if there were a lot of slow moments that did not intrigue us, and there's our scores from the midnight release: 82 and 65 with 0 stars. So thanks for enjoying that, and if you want to watch the full podcast, it'll be right here.